specifically on the incredible Zootopia land at Shanghai Disneyland. Architects are responsible for the construction and design of a built environment. These Imagineers create an immersive atmosphere through an understanding of construction, implementation of mathematics, and by bridging the needs of park operators and guests. A show set designer is the architect of show, charged with turning creative concepts into immersive environments. They do this by integrating with various disciplines and providing support through design, production, and installation, while upholding the story and creative vision of the project. Throughout this process, a show set designer effectively communicates through a variety of means that include drawings and modeling formats. Audrey Aronoff. Audrey Aronoff is a project architect with over 20 years of experience. Her career started in Orange County working for traditional architecture firms. She began her career at Walt Disney Imagineering in 2011, working on the Tomorrowland team for Shanghai Disney Resort. Her first task was taking the Tron-like cycle power run attraction from its initial conceptual design through construction administration support in the field. Who loves Tron? The best, yes, her baby. Since then, she's been able to work on projects in Anaheim, Orlando, Tokyo, and Paris as a part of a team designing attractions, restaurants, and merchandise spaces. Welcome, Audrey. And we have Tiffany Anguiano. She's a show set designer with a theater set design background. She received her BA in drama with honors in scenic design from the University of California, Irvine. She continued her scenic design studies at Penn State University, receiving her Master's of Fine Arts in Theater with an emphasis on scenic design in 2016. And since 2018, she has had the privilege of working alongside talented artists, designers, and engineers at Walt Disney Imagineering to create innovative and impactful Disney theme park attractions for Hong Kong, Shanghai, Tokyo, Florida, and California. A round of applause for Tiffany. So you guys have so much to show us. Let's kick it off by describing the work that you both do and did on Zootopia and how your disciplines work together.
Well, thank you for the introduction. Thank you. I do have to preface this with saying that it is truly an honor and a privilege to be here on behalf of the Show Set Studio to just give you a small glimpse into the day-to-day of a show set designer at Walt Disney Imagineering through our wonderful project of Zootopia. Now, as Sarah mentioned, show set, we like to say we are the architects of the show because we do get to interface by integrating and coordinating with all of the disciplines that have a hand in making these experiences a reality. Anything from a speaker to a show light, animated figure, a video projector, a special effect, a prop, even to like the smallest of security cameras, I guarantee you all of those things went through a show set designer. Because it's our job to make sure that all of those elements work together and they're enhancing the show rather than distracting us and taking us out of the experience. It really is, it is our job to make sure all of that is hidden and that it's properly themed. And so I'd say a majority of the guest-facing theming that you see at our parks, it's show set.
And on that note, when it comes to architecture, we are the architects of the buildings. So we work with our show set partners, but we do a little bit more when it comes to the integration of the engineering systems and like the technical aspect. For example, you all know you're in a building now. It's delightful, it's lovely, it's safe. Every attraction, every restaurant you go in, any experience you have at Disney is a traditional building. We have to make sure it meets code compliancy, it has all the right regulatory systems, but more importantly at Disney, we need to make sure you're fully immersed in the story of the space you're in, which is established by our creative directors and enhanced and embellished and like really pulled through by our show set partners. So with this, we thought we would use this opportunity to use Zootopia as a case study for that, so we can kind of show how we would take the technical and make it magic. So with this, I just kind of want to start off with this first facade. We're focusing on the exterior because honestly, most of the stuff you're going to get to see at D23 are the interior portions of the attractions. So we thought we'd focus on placemaking and area development. So if we look at these facades, when it starts off, they have a story. Every space you go to at Disneyland producer, these teams have come together to tell you where you're at. So for example, this facade is in Zootopia, like I said, in Shanghai. It is the owner of the shop that lives here is Mr. Morgan Wolferson. He is a painted dog. We know all about his preferences in terms of his style, his aesthetic. He is a mammal rights activist. He is an artist. He has converted his older building, because he believes in reuse and good sustainability, into an artist loft where people can buy supplies. That's the story behind this space. So every detail, every design we put in is to enhance that story.
Yeah, and what I wanted to kind of pull us into is, so part of this facade, our city of Zootopia, we're in a world where animals coexist. And not only do they live with one another, but they also support each other in their workouts. So what's lovely about this example, this is actually one of our 3D models. And you can already see what's illustrated here is that we always do design based off of the guest point of view. When we're working with our facility partners here, like they're giving us the parameters, right, of how much space we're going to have, to house our wonderful animated figure here. With this sightline study here, we're already getting an idea, right, of how we're going to put this together so that as a guest, when we are looking at this, we don't reveal the magic. And this next slide, what I love about this is actually an example of what one of our show set drawings looks like. This is where we really start nailing like what exactly is going to be a show set element that's going to be incorporated into the facade. I love the storytelling detail of this, where we have our lovely giraffe, and I mentioned, right, it's animals supporting one another in their workouts. What's powering the treadmill down below is these tiny little mice on their little wheels, so they're getting their workout. And it's a great little partnership there.
I also love how you represented your work on your shirt today, Tiffany.
I show set designed myself.
We fully embrace the theme. So on that note, you kind of saw in the hand sketch on the slide that we start out when we're doing the design work with like the ideas, the gestures, the vibe of the space, right? As we go through and we fully define it, we start looking at who is the best amongst our team to really develop the scope and to design and build some of these elements. So like from an architectural perspective, I know this is going to be a brick facade building. What material should I actually use to represent brick? Is it appropriate? What does it feel like? What is that aesthetic we want? But more importantly, what are the technical things we also need to put in the facade? So we need speakers, we need lights. And then this is one of those, I love this example because it's a really good meld of architectural and show set design. So for example, like I said, this was Mr. Wolferson's loft. He was an artist loft. He lived in the upstairs part. His store was in the bottom. So naturally, he lives in a climate where he needs air conditioning. He lives in this space. Also, we need to find a space to put speakers in, because as you notice, when you walk around the parks, you're always immersed in all of the senses. So we utilize the idea of a air conditioning unit that has natural vents and louvers in it to be able to direct sound to the right location. But we have to make it look correct. So we have to talk to our show set designers, who are the experts, at how to make these elements appear correct.
Stop, it's a speaker? The AC
You're
unit is a
shocked.
speaker.
You would
That is
never
so
know.
clever.
But it's elements even down to the wireless antennas, right? It's like, it's something that clearly would not necessarily live in the world of Zootopia, so we always, as show set designers, have to keep that in mind. It's like, keep that creative vision alive, and what would make sense? We added these little flower pots, right, to conceal all of the equipment that is necessary, for our lands and attractions. But it is a beautiful partnership between all of our disciplines, our technical departments, to make sure that not only are we supporting them, but we also are supporting the overall vision of the story we're trying to tell.
And we know you all appreciate the Wi-Fi in the parks. We make sure you have it everywhere.
Exactly.
One of the other things, I love how the Wi-Fi gets the biggest whoop, which is fair. It's fair. So with that, just to give you a little creative process, you saw the initial sketches. We go through several iterations of modeling techniques and different softwares trying to understand what is the actual look of the space, who is the best to build it. That is one of the best things I found working in traditional practice and then coming to Disney is it's all about collaboration because we have so many subject matter experts that know how to design and build and give the best experience.
Yeah, and this is just, I mean, we sort of just like focused on one little aspect of this, right? But if you start stepping back a little bit, you realize that we're doing that exact process for every single element of the entire land. So it's pretty incredible, you know, just how everybody's coming together to create this unified vision, to keep reinforcing that story, right, of our animals and city dwellers of Zootopia being able to live and cohabit these spaces, you know, making the small details of like, well, how would a mice get into their apartment? Special little railings, and just I love the just attention to detail that we were able to accomplish throughout all of the facades here.
And then you can start to see, we start to explore the colors and the aesthetics because this is a vibrant place. We want to make sure our lands come to life. And when we start looking at that, even we looked at Mr. Wolfison is a painted dog. He has certain coloring in him and he would want that represented. So we started looking at what are the opportunities for the louvers you saw that were for the ears, for the entry, and changing those color aesthetics. And now you can see we start to implement them in the construction process. And like I said, we do a lot where we look at the materials and it's not dictated what we build things out of when we have the vision. It says, okay, we would like this as wood, as brick, as metal. Well, we as the architects, that's one of those moments, we come in and we say, what is the best way to build this in the climate we're building so it is specific to the location, it has to be constructed, maintained, documented for the city. And so we go through and we look at like, what can we do here? We make samples, like you can tell this building is a lot of plaster. We make samples on site, so we can even make sure that the touch textured feel is correct. And then as we go through those samples in iteration with our partners, including our contractors, we start to develop what you see on the bottom, and it really starts to come to life.
And then,
Wow.
it was a lot of hard work. No, but being able to get the opportunity to finally see this, you know, I think we still need the opportunity to go actually travel and see this in person, but the photos, I mean, it's incredible to see the final results of all of our labor, all of the collaboration that went into creating this really rich and just lovely, dense environment, and the ability to actually see our animated figures, all of the activations coming together as one, is just, it's something really huge to celebrate.
Well, and on that note, this is one small facade. This is a full land. That's how much effort it went into one section. So what we like to point out here, the amount of people it takes and the teamwork and collaboration. This is the opening day photo. This is the team photo at that point. There was probably 4 times this amount of people that worked on the project. And this is just one land. This happens at every position in every park. So just you kind of see, it's really, it is a labor of love, but it's really, really fun.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your incredibly detailed and impactful work. Zootopia is beautiful. I wanted everyone to get a chance to see these adorable personal photos. Bucket list for me to get in the water at Small World like Tiffany got to. But if there's anyone watching today who's interested in pursuing a career in show set design or architecture, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, so I mean, I could speak a little bit from my theatrical background, right? I mean, if you think about any Broadway production, right, a play, it does start with a story, and there's a lot of similarities in that, you know, we do have an entire production team that is coming together to make this unified creative vision. But the key thing there is that it takes collaboration. I think 99.9% of our day really is, it's collaborating with one another. So any type of setting that you get that opportunity to really work together as a team to make something happen, like, you're set. But for any aspiring artist and designer that's out there, I mean, I'm here to tell you that the learning never stops. There's never a project that I'm on that I'm not continually learning and trying to, you know, understand what it is that we're trying to achieve here. So keep at it, always be curious, ask all the questions, and we'll see you in show set.
Or architecture, we're fun. No, so I'm gonna echo that though. Even after 20 years of being an architect, they're still learning every single day. Which it does make it exciting and fun. And I know we have future Imagineers in the audience, and I'm very excited, so I hope this is inspiring. I hope the takeaway from this, all of the fields, anything you ever thought you wanted to do exists at Imagineering. Everything you're passionate about. For example, I love architecture because I firmly believe that the design of a space can improve the quality of life for the people that are in it. And I have found no place where that is more evident than at Disneyland. People go to Disney to forget the troubles of their days. They go there, they forget they're sick, they forget they're having a rough time at work. They go there for the magic and they're in that place. And how amazing that we can design something that does that. And we get to be goofy. Like, as you can tell, my professional level, we'll debate. But I love architecture, I love design, I love my ride columns. And this is a place where they let me be that level of fun and carefree while also really solving complex problems that make me feel really satisfied as an architect.
Wow, round of applause for Tiffany and Andre. Thank you so much, you guys. We will be back here on the center stage in just 15 minutes with more presentations, so